another week, well, another work week at least, that is. Today I was doing a mediation. It's supposed to do a mediation, and one party did not show up. And it's very easy to judge people for just not showing up. And then I learned some more facts about the party that didn't show up, and well, in a way, they should have said they weren't coming. I can understand that there were reasons why they might not be in a good position mentally to actually come and do a mediation. So, yeah, there's always reasons for everything. Today's reading is preceded by the thought for the day, which is a good one. There is always, always, always something to be thankful for. There is always, always, always something to be thankful for. And one thing I'm thankful for are the daily readings, because sometimes they give me ideas to kind of expand on them, which is the case today. It's a good reading. Empower positive perspectives. And the first quote is from a reluctant Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, who was a great philosopher, actually, who says, "Our life is what our thoughts make it. Our life is what our thoughts make it." And he was not your run-of-the-mill Roman emperor. He put a lot of thought into stuff. He actually wrote a lot of what were in effect journals, and then people later on latched onto this as wisdom to pass on to everybody else. But a lot of what he wrote really was intended for himself, but it's still really good information. Marcus Aurelius, look him up. Aurelius, first name Marcus, Marcus. And Ernest Holmes' famous quote here, "It is done unto us as we believe." And remember, belief is what? Thought plus feeling. And that's actually from the Science of Mind textbook, right towards the beginning on page 34. Not even 10% into it, like 5% into the book. It's a big book. And this is Jeffon Seely, our writer for this month. Every day after school during my senior year of high school, I would stop by the house in which I was raised, the one where my grandparents lived. This was intentional time I chose to spend with my grandpa after my grandma passed away. Whether I stayed 30 minutes or 2 hours, I asked him questions, told him how much I loved and appreciated him, or simply sat in his silence. One afternoon, while we were sitting on the front steps, a neighbor from across the street walked over. Because of substance abuse, some of my family members who also lived in my grandpa's house were breaking into a few houses on our street. This woman approached my grandfather crying, sharing that something extremely important to her had been stolen by one of our family members. I remember feeling her sadness, becoming teary-eyed myself, telling her I would help to pay for it. What she said next stayed with me ever since. "JJ, I would not expect you to do that, and you shouldn't do that. You're meant for something great. You're going to be great." It has been more than 20 years since I heard those words. And I realize something now. We have the ability to empower the positive opinions and perspectives that others hold about us. When we let those uplifting truths in, they shift the way we see ourselves, and they can help us set a path toward the great things already waiting within us. It's a good lesson, and I think we can actually expand on that lesson, because when I read this, I thought how fantastic it was that this woman who just suffered a great loss could actually think about other people, and she could actually empower other people, or give other people the opportunity to empower themselves to do something great in life. So I get two lessons from this. One is that each of us have got something really good to share with the world. It may be tiny, it may be big, but it's good. We all have something really good to share with the world, with the universe. But also, we have within us the power to empower other people, to uplift other people, to spur people on to do great things themselves. So I think that there are actually 2 lessons in this, and not just one. So yeah, that's where I went with reading this. So where do you go with it? So yeah, I going back to childhood, I remember my relatives, some of them didn't tell me exactly what Jeffon Seely was told, but they would say to me, in effect, the one expression I remember most was, "The world is your oyster." David, the world is your oyster. And I've traveled to a good many parts of the world. So empowering others and accepting that empowerment for ourselves are 2 wonderful lessons. I intentionally empower positive perspectives and opinions that benefits the greatest good for myself and others. I would say I intentionally empower others to be the greatest that they can be. So pick your own affirmation. Today, make it your own affirmation. Pick something that struck you from this reading and make an affirmation out of it. And then that is your affirmation for the day. Or you could just go back to the original one, which is here. There is always, always, always something to be thankful for. And that was anonymous, by the way. There's always, always, always something to be thankful for. And that is my prayer today, that I'm grateful for all the good in my life, in your life, and in everyone's life. And I release this word as a prayer into the divine mind, calling it done. And so it is. So please look out for my colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan, tomorrow, 9:15-ish Central Time, Central Daylight Savings Time, actually. And look out for me tomorrow, somewhere around about anywhere between 4 and 5, or 7 and 8, because I have a 5 to 7 meeting. So we'll see how that goes. So until next time, namaste.